this feels like, and maybe it's a manifestation one. Who knows? Who actually knows? But there's a lot of people, and I don't think anyone's got a photo with him or like a chat video interview, whatever you want to call it. But there's a lot of people, and there seems to be weight to him. It looks like the guy. A lot of people have pointed out that his friend, well-known friend, was also at Anfield. But Jorrel Hato was apparently, and I'm saying apparently because I can't confirm it 100%, at Anfield on Saturday. Now, there's a couple of things that have come up on this, and like everyone's trying to do digging, like, is this, what's this about type of thing. The only bit we've really got was he wasn't an official guest of the club, which is no surprise. And before anyone jumps on that, by the way, how many mates in our squad could he get tickets off? I mean, come on. Jorrel Hato wants to watch Liverpool. Think of the coaching staff, think of the players, all those types of things. So, yeah, no doubt it's not going to be an official visit. However, praise be to baby Jesus. We'd love this boy. We would absolutely love this boy. Now, again, I am not an avid Eredivisie watcher for anyone jumps on this type of thing, but watched a bit of this kid, looked at his stats, done a bit of analysis with Bart's on transfer market metrics. So if you're thinking, who is Jorrel Hato? Just have a quick watch or listen of this just for a minute or so. Because I think Bart's, I just clipped this up for you, just to almost give you a comparison, a description, anything like that at all.
So the first thing you got to look at when you look at his profiling is that he can play fullback and centre half, right? And that's quite a special attribute. Remember in the summer, you and me did Colwell. And one of the reasons we love Colwell was that he's almost a unicorn. He can play left back and he can play centre half, and equally really impressively in both positions. So if you can get a kid that does that, it gives you a lot of flexibility in that back line. In Cape, is it the guy from Leverkusen? He could play left wing back and he can play centre half. So when he played against us in the Champions League, he was a bit more deeper, but because he can play there. When he plays in the league, he plays further up the pitch. So there's lots of things. And if you listen to Transfer Committee Pod, they actually recommended signing him because he has that flexibility. To answer John's previous question, that's the profile of player that you could potentially go and get, because it allows you that in-game flex to say, look, mate, for this bit playing here because we're changing our right back, or vice versa.
Yeah, so it's just a bit of like a comparison, because I know people will be thinking, what's he like? If you haven't seen him, haven't heard of him. But as Bart's described him well, almost if you think like Colwell can play left back, centre back as well. If you think like an Nkape type, that flexibility, and as Bart sort of phrased it there, the ability to change in-game state. What's also weird is I'm looking on the video, it looks like I was wearing the exact same outfit that day. If I was a girl, I'd be bothered, but maybe I'm now in a vortex, who knows. But so much to like about this kid. And before as well, anyone jumps in to say you've just read an FB ref profile, nonsense. Absolute nonsense. I know we did like a few games, and it's funny, as Dean's put there, the Holland debut against Gnabry, that was one of the games we looked at. And Bart's run a full profile actually against him for the Rangers game in the Europa League. So there is so much to like about this kid. A million different things to like about him. And by the way, he will cost millions. But if people talk about opportunistic signings, this is one, but with an adjustment in expectations. Let me just explain what I mean on this. Whatever you think about this kid ain't coming in to start. This like 18 years old, developing, absolute huge ceiling, no two ways about it. But this kid isn't coming in to start. In fact, if there is anything in this, and we obviously praise be to baby Jesus, we wait with bated breath for updates, but if there is anything in it, do you remember the Cater deal originally? And don't jump on the injury bit, just listen to what I'm saying. The Cater deal where we paid a small premium, kept him at Leipzig for the season, and then took him. This could be the one. And also, yeah, there you go. So just put it in the chat panel. Sort of let me do the narrating here, but very true. Few Ajax fans saying they do need Ajax's financial situation. I mean, we can be vultures in that regard. Nothing wrong with that as well. We do what's needed. It's right for us. So I think almost like a cater style, like maybe if you pay a premium or you do it now and you let Ajax keep him actually. And I know some people will say, no, get him over, get him involved in the squad. Could understand that at the same time. Liverpool will know far better than me, but I wouldn't be against him staying at Ajax, i.e. where he can play week in, week out, especially at that age, and let him develop. So that's one of the things at the same time. He's not ready for it now. That's one thing I would really stress. And the reason this transfer is even sexier in a way, let's stop being the third link in the train, people. Let's stop being that third position where, think of a Baleba where Lille, we thought and we didn't. Then he goes to Brighton. And now if we want him, it's going to cost a king's ransom, innit? How about we buy these players? And honestly, like Hato is one for me. And I'm obviously kind of in love with a player that way as much as he can be. I'm not really. But in terms of a signing I would like, absolutely there for me. This would be smart business, opportunistic, if you want to call it that. I also believe that if you don't get him now, this isn't a Baleba. This kid is at another club tearing it up in a few years. This isn't one where he, I don't think he's the type that will go to a brighter. I'm not saying, no one predicts the future, Mystic Meg style, but I think he's one bigger clubs will make the move for. And then even if he is at a Brighton, say that does happen, great. Now we're paying like 70 million, or we're quoted, 70 million for him in a few years. This is one I think could be really smart business. Now, as a few people have pointed out in the chat panel as well, no journo shot it down yet, as in none of the patch journos, anything like that, have shot it down. I will be asking David Lynch in just over an hour about it to see his take on it. So we'll see if anything breaks or doesn't before then. But yeah, I'll be putting it to him if he's heard anything. But you just think of that Dutch contingent as well, don't you? Like Grav, Gakpo, VVD, Slot, Heiting. And there's so many Ajax or Hato connections. It's brilliant. And you know, the final sort of cherry on the cake as well, Slot can switch out players without having to worry about names too much, because who's playing centre-back? It might be Jorrel, it might be Jorrel. Could alternate, can't they? One plays left side, one plays right side in the future. Absolutely perfect.